Hey all, I'm Paula from Defend Survivors, and we have decided to start a YouTube channel because we feel like there's some topics that we want to discuss that you can't really go into in depth in more of the basic social media post. So we think there's some really important things that need to be talked about, and so we're going to start this and see how it goes. We are going to, trigger warning, we're going to be talking about sexual abuse, children, adults. We're going to be talking about domestic violence, so if it's something that is difficult for somebody, then please know that that's what we're going to be talking about. We're also, there's a lot of organizations out there that talk about specifically child sexual abuse, and which is the main topic that we're going to be talking about. They do a really good job talking about prevention, recognition, and getting your children to report, and how many children don't report. They're doing a great job of that, so we're not going to really discuss that too much. We're going to talk about what happens after a child reports. We're going to talk about the legal process and what happens to a child once they do report, because there's some things we think are really important that you might not know about. You might know that 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys might be sexually abused by the time they're 18. But you might not know that only 29% of those reports of sexual abuse even result in an arrest. That number drops to 19% if the child is under 6 years old. So those are some things that we're going to talk about. And we are going to be discussing what happens in the legal system. We're going to be talking about trauma. We're going to be talking about domestic violence and how all that interacts with all of this. We're going to talk about the consequences of a child not being defended, because there are consequences. It's not just that a perpetrator doesn't go to jail. It's not just that a child doesn't get justice. There's other consequences, and basically it's positive for the perpetrator, it's negative for the community, and it's devastating for the child. So we think there's some really important things we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about some issues that are in the news right now, which is kind of what started this, because there's been some very difficult news stories lately. So we're going to talk about things that are in the news. So we hope you'll follow along with us on social media. We are on all the different social media platforms at Defend Survivors on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. We're pretty active on there on all of them. So we hope you'll join along with us and follow along. And then, our goal is basically that we want every child that reports, we don't want any child ever to have to report. But if they do, we want to know that every child that does report is believed, protected, and defended. And above all, please believe the child.